Hi, my name is Henry, and I'm a Operations Quality Senior Engineer at Elbit System. I'm a black belt, CQE, a green belt, and I have a master's in industrial engineering and also bachelor's in mechanical engineering. So I guess that is my background. When we talk about a black belt is someone who leads a team to finish a product or to finish a project, to take a team, work through the processes, and then come out with a better system of finishing the project on time, within schedule, and with the resources that is being given to him or has been deployed to him. So, for a black belt, what you need to understand is what is the project that you are about to do, which means you need a clarity on the project that is being offered to you, right? How do you get the resources that you need to accomplish the task? Two, what are the available tools that is at your disposal to deploy in order to be able to be successful at the project? Because being successful at the project is one of the key ingredients, right? Because if you cannot get the most out of the resources that you are going to be given, what is going to happen is the project is going to be stopped or is not going to be completed because of resources that won't be available to finish it, right? So when it comes to the classroom or when it comes to what a person needs to be successful or to be a black belt in an industry, one, you have to be able to think outside the box. What are the tools that I have to get the job done? So project is a project or a task that has a beginning and an end, right? It has a time bound. When it comes to continuous improvement doesn't have a time bound because, as it says, it's continuous improvement. But with a project could be 6 weeks, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 years, it could be 6 months. So whenever you are given a project, you have to understand what the time limit is, right? What are the resources and what can I do to achieve at least 75 or 80% of the project on time, right? Without having major, hiccups along the way. So what one needs to think of or one needs to understand is what are the tools that I have to deploy, right? In black belt, there are so many tools out there, right? So you have to use tools that are most efficient and effective, right? That will require less resources, right, to get what you need to do. Let's say you have a project that you don't have that much money to gather data, right? Using a tool like design of experiment would not be the wise choice. You could choose whatever tool you need to do, but you have to understand that whatever tools I'm choosing, would they worth the outcome, right? Because you have time that you have to deal with. You have people that you have to employ to help you. You are paying these people. So if you take a tool that will be time consuming and it will take forever to achieve the results that it's needed, there is going to be an issue. That being said, you don't want to cut corners just because you want to make time and you just want to also get the project done at the fastest pace, right? So the question becomes, what are the best practices out there? What are the best industrial practices that could be used, right? That the task could be achieved effectively, meet the customer requirement, meet quality standard, right? As it's always been said, a built-in quality that would not hurt the project or the task at the end of the day. So one of the things that you need to understand is what is the what are the clarity of the project? Why are we doing the project? Right? If you understand the core of why the project is needed, then it will make sense to find effective ways to actually streamline the processes, make sure things are done on time, right? The right resources are put at where it needed to be put. And then you have the right people that will execute the project without any issues. So those are some of the things that you need to understand. So when it comes to Lean is the processes that will help you eliminate any issues that you're having, non-added values, right? So anything that does not add value to a project, Lean is going to help you eliminate that. Six Sigma deals with deviations, right? So what is the deviation between two issues or within the same, the same issues that you are dealing with, right? So for instance, when you have too many deviations between different parts, right? So gauge R&R becomes more important, right? Because gauge R&R deals with repeatability and reproducibility, right? One deals with what is within the structure itself, and the other is what is between two different structures. So structure A and structure B, that is between, right? And within is what is actually going on in structure A. So that being said, you have to understand what are the appropriate tools that you need to deploy at each stage of the project, right? So you have something like DEOMIC, right? Define, measure, analyze, implement, control. When you understand those methodologies, it helps you to figure out before you even try any project, what is the definition of the project, right? Some companies, before there's any project, they do NPIs, right? New product introduction, just to get an idea as to what is needed from quality engineers, what is needed from production engineers, what is needed from mechanical engineers, what is needed from all the important players within the life cycle of that project. So what I'm trying to say is, when you look at ASQ has its own curriculum, right, in dealing or in handling its classes. Indiana of Quality also has its own brochure. The Primers has its own subject that it deals with. So there is no one fit all. The concepts are pretty much the same, right? But it's the interpretation that sometimes is different. So the question is, how do you understand, or how would you understand what the interpretation of these concepts are, and how would you use it to your best of what you are trying to achieve, right? Because if you understand the concept itself and add the best industrial practices, you are halfway of solving your problem. So as I said, if you should take an ASQ black belt exams, right, there are so many choices, but two of the choices will be very identical. So the question is, what makes question A better over question B, right? They might be the same, they might sound the same, or both answers will look right, but one has something the other doesn't have. So you have to think about what make this choice better over the choice, right? What made choice 1 better over choice B? So if you understand those tricks or those differences, you have a better shot of getting the answers right. So in the nutshell, what a black belt does is a black belt has to lead a project from the start to a finish, or to get the project to where it needs to be, which means you'll be given resources, you'll be given people. How do you mentor those people throughout the project? How do you coach them, right? How do you make sure people are comfortable to get the job done without wasting too much resources or without too many hiccups, right? So what I think every person or a black belt needs to understand is, 1, what are my strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the threats, right? And then what are the opportunities? Most times the opportunities are there, right? The strengths are there, but what you need to focus on is your weaknesses. What are the threats, right? Because if you will be able to get those challenges down, it's not about increasing your strength, but it's about improving your weaknesses. When you improve your weaknesses, then you have a better chance of being a strong person, right? To be a better person. It's not a matter of, oh, I'm strength, this is my strength, so I have to improve it. No. It's your strength, it's your strength. So to add more value as a person, you need to focus on your weaknesses, right? And build your weaknesses, put in more energy and say, okay, this is what I need to do to develop a better habit and get out of this bad habit. And then add it to the ones that I've already had, right? So that is what I think a black belt should think. That is the mindset that a black belt should have. Because at the end of the day, are you meeting customer requirements? Are you getting the results that is needed? Are you making sure that the resources that has been given to you is being used on the right problems and issues, right? And then also, what is the feedback that you are getting from the project that you are working on? Is it a good feedback? Is it a feedback that you could say, okay, we've done this right, let's go back and improve on what we are not doing so right? So these are some of the things that one needs to think of when one is performing a project. When it comes to continuous improvement, as it says, continuous improvement. So there should be always a way to go back. Lessons learned becomes more important in the loop, right? So you visit your lessons learned, what went right and what did not go right, postpartum, right? So that you'll be tweaking and then you'll be implementing it at the same time to meet the standard that it needs to be met. So those are some of the things that one should look for. But when it comes to projects, as in 6-month project, 3-month project, or whatever it is you focus on what project you have been given. What is the project asking for, right? The clarity of why we're doing this project. And then what are the resources that you need to get the project done? When you get clarity of what a project is, then you have a better chance of becoming successful. Let's say you want to, ace the black belt, right? What would it take to pass your black belt? It means you need to get the question banks. You study, you put in the effort, you try to understand why some questions are better than the others, right? If you understand those dynamics, you have a better chance of passing the exams. So, in order to end, I would say one has to understand what it is that you are looking for. What are the tools at your disposal? Because in Six Sigma or in Black Belt, there are so many tools, but there is no one tool that fits all. You have to tweak it as you go. Find the best tools that is needed at the very particular time, right? To help you achieve what is needed to be achieved. So thank you for this short message, and I hope you like it. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.